Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, wherever you may be listening. Alright, so today we got, obviously my baseball talk will happen later. There's some reports about Russell Wilson that I'll talk about. J.J. Watt's free agency is starting to heat up. And, obviously I have my, daily MLB talk. Alright, so, right now I mentioned the Wilson, so I'm going to talk about Russell Wilson now. So apparently the power and control of the Seahawks is what is causing the tension. Now, I saw an article today by The Athletic, and there was a meeting where Wilson merely suggested some ideas, and they dismissed him completely. And apparently, Wilson watched Brady get pressured once in the Super Bowl, like with what he had, and he seethed, apparently. So, alright. So, I mean, and the reason the Bucks were able to win the Super Bowl was because they listened to Brady and treated him like a star. Brady asked for AB, Gronk, and Fournette. They all scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He asked them to get an O-lineman in the draft. They got Tristan Wirfs. So Wilson is asking for a little bit of that. He's been sacked 394 times in 9 years. He hasn't had a top 10 defense since 2016. And Brady has had a top 10 defense in 19 of his 21 years. And what Pete Carroll has to realize is he's not the same without Wilson. He was 14-18 without him. He was fired twice. And look at all the player-coach divorces. The player always wins. Rodgers-McCarthy. Rodgers won that, so far won that in a landslide right now. We'll see how he does with Dak, though. We gotta give him time there. But it looks like Rodgers is the winner. Brady-Belichick. Like I said, we'll see what happens when the Pats get their 8 opt-outs back, They had 8 people opt out, so we'll see what happens when they get back. But right now, it looks like Brady's winning in a landslide. And there's other players, too, like Chris Paul, Doc Rivers. Chris Paul won that one, big. What's another one? LeBron and the Cavs, LeBron won that in a landslide. Both times he left, he won in a landslide. So the player seems to always win. And Wilson is just asking for a little bit of respect thrown his way, and they should really give it to him. I think they will, eventually. They're eventually going to put their ego aside and realize that Wilson is a big reason for their success. Alright, so I've been saying this. I'm conflicted on what the Niners should do with Jimmy G. I don't know if I think he should leave, because he is never available, but they also can't win without him. So, John Lynch came out and said, Jimmy G is our quarterback for 2021. Now, I believe this story. And I heard another story that Deshaun Watson won't get traded. They're going to try to salvage the relationship between the Texans front office and Watson. They're going to try it. And so there's 5 rookie quarterbacks that are going to go out in the first round. Let's see. Wilson, Fields, Lawrence, Trask, and Lance. That's 5. And there's 4 quarterbacks left on the market. Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Sam Darnold, Mariota. Winston is likely to re-sign with the Saints. Cam, I've said this, he should resign with the Patriots. Darnold and Mariota are question marks. We don't know what's going to happen yet. Actually, Cam's a question mark too, because we don't know what the Patriots want yet. So Winston is the only sure thing. So there's 4 quarterbacks on the market. There's 9 quarterbacks that can go. And one of them is probably not going to go anywhere. So that leaves most likely 8 quarterbacks for the 8 teams that need a quarterback. The Panthers came out and said they're looking to move off Bridgewater. Broncos have expressed concerns with Drew Lock. Steelers have... Oh, wait, no, the Steelers don't need one. My bad. That was a mistake. Who was the next team? I think I said the lot. So there's 7 teams, 8 possible quarterbacks. Bears need a quarterback. Washington's looking for one. Jags and the Jags are going to draft Lawrence. The Jets might be looking for someone, and the Pats might be looking for someone. So 7 teams, 8 quarterbacks. 1 team is not going to get a quarterback. I'm guessing Mariota is going to be the one not to go, because at least Darnold and Cam have some experience at the quarterback position, and Cam is no joke. He won MVP. He made the Super Bowl. So I think Mariota is not going to go anywhere. So, alright. This is not good news for, sorry. This is probably not good news for the Pats. I mean, because they might not decide. Because, I mean, the Jets... going to the draft would not be the worst case scenario for them. I mean, they can... Either way, I think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to be much of a difference. The Patriots, there will be. They can either re-sign Cam or draft a quarterback and kind of reset. So it's kind of the worst case scenario. They might have to trade up in the draft. So this is a lot of things that they haven't had to do in the past. Like, other than the Randy Moss years, there hasn't been much on the receiving core. I mean, he had Randy Moss and Gronk, and Edelman. He had Edelman, Gronk, and Moss, and then they lost Gronk to retirement, and Randy Moss left, and then Edelman won MVP, not Brady. So they started to slowly lose their players. And then they lost Brady. So now a lot of things are messed up for them now. Cam Newton was a pretty good signing, it looks like. 66% completion percentage. And with that crappy receiving core right now, because Edelman wasn't there, that's pretty impressive. So that looks like the best case scenario right now. Keep Cam. But if they eventually decide not to, it's going to be their worst case scenario. So this is pretty bad news for them. Alright, so Patrick Ewing says Steph changed the NBA. Now, I'm putting Steph in a category that I only put Jordan and LeBron in. Before Jordan, it was believed that you need a center to win the game. You have to have a good center to win the game. Yes, you do. No, you don't. Bulls did not have a center. They had a good power forward in Dennis Rodman, a great point forward in Pippen, and obviously a phenomenal shooting guard in Michael Jordan. And then let's look at some of the next NBA champions. They kind of went back to that center to win the game thing. but people were more carefree about it. Like, Duncan was more of a power forward. I mean, so let's look at the next champions after Michael. Alright, here we go. Alright, so after Michael left in 98, 99, the Spurs won. They had Duncan, okay. In 2000, the Lakers won. They had Shaq, okay. So Lakers went on a three-peat with Shaq. And then Duncan was a power forward, not a center. Then the Pistons, they didn't have a center. The Heat had Shaq again. He really dominated that first half of the 2000s. Then the Celtics came. They did not have a center. Lakers in the late 2000s did not have a center. Oh, no, they had Pau Gasol, my bad. The Heat had more of a power forward than Chris Bosh. It kind of went to more of a power forward thing. And then eventually, in these last couple of years... Okay, so after Michael, it was... You should use a big man, but you don't need a big center. You can just use this power forward. And then in these last couple years, it's been... You don't really need a center. Like, look at the Warriors. They didn't have a center. That was their one weakness. Actually. So Jordan changed the way you look at positions. And LeBron changed the way you look at player empowerment. And not only did he change that, he kind of created, kind of the positionless... Well, actually, no. That was Magic Johnson who created that. That's my bad. Magic was kind of positionless. And Penny Hardaway, Hardaway was able to shoot. He wasn't able to rebound, but he was able to pass, shoot, score, play defense. He was very underrated. So LeBron changed the game with player empowerment. Jordan changed the game with you don't need centers to win. Curry changed the way you look at the point guard position and how you play. So a couple of years ago, I think 2 years ago, there were two teams that shot over 33s a game. Today, 26 teams shoot over 33s a game. And that's because of Curry. Look at him in 2016. He had the most three-pointers ever, and that kind of changed the format. And point guard position, look at John Wall and Russell Westbrook. They get hate because they can't shoot. Point guard has always been this move the ball around thing. You can score a bit, but not always, be more of a move around the ball guy. And Steph moves it around, but he's a score first guy. He's a give me the ball guy. So Steph, LeBron, Jordan changed the game forever. All right, let's get some music on. And, I explained it, I think Steph should win it too, but he shouldn't be in the running. He really shouldn't. Anyway, coming up, I'm going to do my mock draft, but let's have some music on right now. Alright, so, Frank Vogel is not concerned about the Lakers slump, despite, how real it really seems, but, Alright, so, now the problem here is the games have been crammed together because of the COVID that hit last year. So it's kind of shortening the film study and the practice that the Lakers and Heat needed. And look at teams like the Nuggets, Celtics, Heat, Lakers. They're all struggling right now with injuries. Because they didn't get that offseason to kind of... Because, you're tired after the NBA season. It's like, wow. So, you got to get... So, what they normally like is... They get a couple days